Andy, if you're going through the, I guess, whole preseason, not actually getting to play a whole lot, kind of dealing with this whole new situation here in Chicago, I guess how anxious are you that you guys are finally focused on the Rams and kind of getting into Week 1 mode?
Right, now it all begins. And this is what everything that we've done up to this point is what's been leading up to. So, get an extra week this week, or this year, going into it, not having 4 preseason games. So, but this is what all the OTAs, the training camp, this is what everything leads up to get to this point, and get to start the regular season now.
Andy, there seems to be a lot of internal confidence on where this offense can go and how it can make strides forward. What for you have been the indicators over the last 5 weeks that things are on the path that you want to be on and it can be successful right away?
Yeah, I think just some of the stuff that we've done in practice and some of the stuff that we've been implementing and the way our guys have been practicing and playing, I think that's been big for us to know the potential of what we can be and to be excited about what we have.
Was there a curiosity for you on Saturday night to watch the offensive line that you'll be playing behind to actually get some reps together?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean with our group, just getting them more opportunities to mesh as a unit. I think that's the biggest thing at this point because of some of the injuries and some of the stuff that we've had happen, and just kind of getting that group in place. So the more time that they have together, the more time that they're able to work as a unit. I mean, it's going to make us better.
Andy, can you go back to what the Cowboys played the Rams last year? Was that Dak played, right? That was early in the season.
Right. Week 1.
Is there anything that you can glean from that to use for this upcoming game?
Yeah, I know it's. I mean, we can go back and look at it and see some of the stuff we did. You know, the Bears played them last year as well, and so for us, I mean, we're going to look at a lot of things. That's the thing going into Week 1 of the season, new defense coordinator, all that kind of stuff. You got to prepare for so many different things and be ready for it all, and you got to adjust and be able to adapt once the game gets going.
You say with their new coordinator, is it still more instructive to look at their tape against the Bears than it was whatever you learned about them when you were learning about them for Week 1 last year?
Yeah, I think it's there's going to be a lot of tape for us to look at, and so. I can go back, look at my notes, see the things that we thought about them going into Week 1 last year. I mean, we'll be looking at it all.
You keep a notebook?
What do you say?
You keep a notebook and do you go
yeah,
back?
I've got it all. from the beginning of my career, I've got it all.
Andy, how forward are you looking to working with your top receivers all the time now with Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney and really showing what you can do and what the offense could potentially do?
And that's what it's about. You know, we're to that point now where we get this team, and we're going to see. It's going to be the guys that are going to be out there now, and I mean like I said, it's what we've been working towards from the beginning, and so now it's just again more time to build that chemistry, make sure everybody's on the same page, and yeah, I mean it's time to go.
Andy, with the extra week before the opener, what can you get out of the extra prep time, and were you disconnected all this weekend? I know you guys did pretty well.
Yeah, I think going into Week 1, it's the longest time you have to prepare for a game. It feels like you prepare for forever, and then you get to that next week, and it's like, okay, you get back into a routine. But, yeah, I mean, just more time to watch tape, more time to just learn the opponent and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's just kind of where we're at now, is making sure that you're spending that time because you do have the extra time going into Week 1.
Andy, when you think
you guys have handled this situation perfectly as professionals, as teammates, but I think you've unfairly kind of been evaluated based on Justin's play on the field. Are you glad to get to a space now where your value will be solely evaluated on your performance and not how Justin does versus the backups in preseason?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all that matters. I'm focused on me and what I can do, and helping this offense and helping this team, and so I'm looking forward to Week 1.
You've said a couple times that when you originally left Cincinnati last year and you went to Dallas, that you did so knowing you were going to be the backup there, and then obviously you were looking for a starting job, a starting opening, or at least a chance to compete for a starting job around the league this year. How much have you wrestled with this phase of your career since you've left Cincinnati of trying to determine where the best situation is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a great opportunity right here. I knew that coming in that I'd get a chance to start here, and that's my focus is on this year. The rest of my career is going to take care of itself, but you know, my focus is on what I'm doing now, and you know, this is a big year for me, and it's gonna for me, I've got to go just play like I know I can play.
Did you ever feel you were close to coming here last year, that that this was a possibility a year ago?
You know, there's been talks and different things. There's a lot that that had to go on because I was still on the roster in Cincinnati. So
Working with you on a trade.
there was a lot of things that could have happened, and you know, nothing ever ended up happening.
Andy, you've already been through 10 of these final cutdowns. How difficult is it in that locker room right now, and how, if at all, do you try and mentor and support some of these kids, knowing 27 of them at least are going home?
It's tough. This is the toughest time of year in you know, in football, where you start the roster with 90 guys, and at the end of the day, you're going to have 53 on the roster. So, I mean, that's a ton of guys that are going to get released, and so, you know, it's got stuff that I can obviously pull from just experiences of being around and kind of what to expect for some of these guys going into this. But again, this is a tough time of year.
Do you have young players coming to you just for support, for reference, with questions, or is everybody just kind of keeping to themselves right now?
Yeah, it's been both. You know, some you're just asking kind of, you know, where's your headspace at, and just kind of what's going into this. I mean, because this is kind of a nerve-wracking time. There's some guys that have been fighting for spots, and it could go either way. So, you know, I've offered some advice out there.
You know, these last few months, what have you learned about who David Montgomery is?
Yeah, it's been fun to be around him. You know, just with talking to him from when I first signed to now, actually like seeing him practice, the way he works, the way he prepares, everything. You know, he's such a competitor, and I think that's the biggest thing that I would say about him. He's competing at everything, and he's got such a passion for playing this game, and he's got a passion for wanting to be a really good player.
What strikes you about who he is as a runner? Obviously, you don't get to see a lot of live out here, so he's kind of bored and unfulfilled for a long stretch.
Yeah, I think if you could kind of pull back from camp, and we did a couple live sessions, there's been no quit in him. There's a couple times where I didn't think that we were going to be getting anything, and he comes out of the pile. And so, I mean, I think that's just kind of the way he plays, and it's been fun to see.
Andy, the idea that the offense has to kind of click in week one after really not playing as an entire unit in the preseason, is that common in your career? Have you been through situations like that? Is there an X factor, like on your own part, you know, an unknown that you don't really know exactly how it's going to work out, or is there a certainty that, yeah, when we get the whole group together, it'll click?
Yeah, I mean, that's the confidence that we have in our group is when we're all together and we're all playing like we know we can play. I mean, there's just a lot that we can do. And so I think I've mentioned after a couple of these games, you know, like I've been on part of teams where the offenses didn't look great early in the preseason, but then, you know, we've come out hot to start the year. So, you know, I think for us, it's just focusing on what we can control right now and playing like we know we can play.
Is that a new thing for you, that to not play with the first team? I don't know with the Bengals if that was commonplace or whatever. To not play with the first unit in the
Yeah, you know, it's been different every year. Sometimes you hold guys out. I mean, sometimes you may play with the first offense line. Sometimes you're playing with two guys that are going to be starters. Sometimes you're playing with all 3, 4 receivers that are going to be in there playing, and sometimes you're not playing with any of them. It's changed throughout the years.
Andy, on the occasions that you've gone up against the first team defense, what do you make of Roquan Smith, who's kind of the quarterback of that unit?
He's a special player, and I feel like he is all over the place, and his ability to dissect what's going on and to just know what's coming is pretty special. And so I think that's one thing. He's always around the ball, and I mean, he's a great player.
Did he remind you of anybody? You played a lot of football.
You know, it's hard to say who he reminds me of, but I just think his intelligence of the game and you know, being able to read and react is you know, he's one of the best linebackers in the league.
Andy, last year, first time in your career, you had to move to a new team, go through that whole process, meet all these new people. In what ways did that help you prepare for what you've gone through this year, which is kind of doing it all over again, but knowing you're the starter in week one?
Yeah, it's first time going to a new spot and having to learn new people where I was last year, and so I think just having that experience of knowing kind of how to navigate that, I think, has definitely helped out. And for me too, this year, knowing that coming in to be the starter, I could be more myself going into this one rather than last one, where I kind of had to find my place, and it happened a little bit later in the process last year too. So yeah, there's a lot of things I can take from that have helped me transition.
The defense is expected to be like the strength of the team. When you talk about complementary football, do you view it as a thing where you guys kind of need to just play complementary football, or do you just not think about that side of it at all? You just kind of go do your own thing?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you want to play complementary football, and you know, for us, I mean, we want to be an explosive offense. We want to be able to score a lot of points, and you know, hopefully the defense is playing well, gives us short fields and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, everything complements each other.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Andy.